The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised. So good evening, everyone, and welcome to McStabber Studios' Zas Irkalla Shattered Worlds. I will be the master of Irkalla for this dark story.
And I am Mama McStabber in Twitch chat. You can find me on socials at Relindare. And my first endling of this afternoon is Lasara.
Hello, I'm Stuart, also known as Ebonblade on Discord, and tonight my first endling is called Adric Brogan.
Hello everyone, I'm the Ravnos Archon in Twitch chat and in the Discord. My first endling today is called Kiax the Fool.
I'm Mortuous, and my endling is going to be Quarex.
And I thank everyone for being patient.
Thank you all so much.
As we figured this all out, because this new version of OBS has screwed up 3 years worth of my setup, which is rather amusing. But
yay, technology.
But we learn, we adapt, and we will go from there and make it all work, won't we? Welcome to the world of Irkalla. Irkalla is a desolate world, a world of dust and ash and suffering and pain. It is a world where psychic masters rule over entire cities, where they force them to believe in the illusions of the mind rather than live in squalor. They're living in opulent palaces, though those that aren't fooled by the psychic emanations, of course, would see the truth. Each of these players tonight are endlings. They are the fragment of a psychic called the Eyes Upon the Throne. And the world, the life, the existence they felt they had turns out to all have been a dream in the mind of the psychic eyes. And on the death of this psychic, the world came undone, breaking apart at the seams, tumbling in on itself. But a shard of that world, them, was brought into Irkalla. Each one of them will be the last of their race, the last survivors of their civilization. All of them have a link together, a link that allows them to speak telepathically and to feel each other's pain and emotion. This link's caused by the other eyes of the throne that were caught as slaves to what is called an architect. They've spent so long, their eyes together, that they've formed this bond. And as we open up on this story tonight, each of you awake naked. You don't know where you are. You just know that you just saw your world destroyed. Everyone you knew, everyone you loved, gone, everything. But you wake inside some sort of stone sarcophagus. At least that's what you feel by the lid. What does anyone do? Or do you talk to each other?
Well, if we're all in stone sarcophagi, we try to either push or slide.
You can also feel the minds of the others. It is slightly alien to you. You know you can talk to them. You know you can understand them. You feel same emotions, the loss, the pain. But you don't know why you're linked to them in this way, but you know you are. And you know they're nearby. You don't know exactly where, but they are close. Each of you feels the other.
Who are you all?
What is this?
What did just happen?
Oh?
Now here's the oddest part. You all know you speak languages unique to your planets. But for some reason, when you speak in the mind to each other, you completely understand words that make no sense when you first hear them, but you understand them perfectly.
Are you all in these stone coffins?
Yeah?
I believe so. And
yeah,
Mike, I'm going to be pushing or trying to slide.
Okay.
We need to get out of this place.
I'm also going to try to slide the thing off.
Yeah, I'm going to try and push against it and try to slide it to one side.
Okay. This is going to be a roll that is dangerous. You could get hurt. You could get injured. And the way the dice roll works for the viewers, every player, when they have to make a roll, can choose to roll 1, 2, or 3 dice. Only on a result of 10 is it a complete success with no penalty. Anything other than that, there'll be some sort of problem involved. If they roll anything over their stress level, which starts at 3, well, they only take a little bit. But if they roll under 3, well, then they take a disaster. Now, the decision how many dice to roll is very important, because if any time they roll a 1, their stress will increase by the number of dice they choose to roll that time. You have to play a very risky game with how many dice you choose. Each one of you wishing to break free of your own, please roll as many dice out of those 3 as you wish. If you have a specialization you feel applies, please let me know. Specializations are very broad in this game.
I can see where this is going to go today. I rolled 2 dice, both 3s.
Well, that's a problem, isn't it?
Well, I'm keeping one of these dice for all my rolls. I've got a 4 and a 10.
I got a 3
Good
and a
dice.
1.
So, for you, Endling Lysera, increase your stress by 2.
Okay.
You're now at 5 stress. Endling Edric, you manage to push the stone slab from above you without any problem. We're going to come back to you in a minute for the ones that failed so far. Correct?
In my case, it's a 2 and an 8.
Well, that gives you a partial success. As you push to move it, Corex, it is heavy, heavier than anything you've lifted in a while. And you feel something give in your arm as you do it, as you tear a muscle. Mark, a major injury to your arm. For Lysera and Kiox, well, you try and try, and it doesn't budge. And as it starts to weigh on you that you're trapped in here, you push harder and harder. Decide to try to lever with your legs. And as you lever with your legs, you actually, Lysera, you manage to break your ankle sideways as you do it. Mark, a grievous injury to your leg. And of course, you can pick either leg. For you, Endling Kiox, you manage to lift it a little bit, but then it comes down as you're trying to slide it and catches your hand, smashing all the bones. In whichever hand you wish, which will be a grievous injury to you as well. But with the help of the ones who has escaped, I'm pretty sure even Lysera and Kiox can be rescued.
Yeah, as she's trying to get out, you actually hear her psychically scream
And you all feel the
in
pain.
pain.
It's lesser. It's not quite as bad as if you'd felt it yourself, but the pain is there. It hurts. And you find yourself in some sort of stone tomb. There's several torches on a central monolith, a large chunk of stone in the center of the room. You are all nude. There's something vaguely familiar about this room, but you don't understand what it is. You can't tell what might be so familiar about it. But scattered amongst the room are 12 other sarcophagi that you did not exit. You don't see an exit to this room, but the big thing is that stone monolith. And of course, this room appears to have suffered damage recently. There's tumbled columns, bits of rubble throughout the place. chips knocked out of the sarcophagi, but all the others have their lids on them.
As Lasar is helped out of her coffin, basically, she sits on the side of it because she cannot put weight on her left leg. And you notice she has hooves instead of feet. She also has piercings over certain areas of her body, and on her face, she has piercings in her nostrils that are chained to piercings in her ears. How dark is it in this room?
Well, with the torches, there's a flickering shadows around the room, but it's still bright enough to see some. But if you're talking about eye shine,
No.
but then you can see. It's just a flickering light caused by the torches. Now, there's the oddest thing. You don't know how long these torches have been here. You don't know how long you were in that sarcophagus. But the torches are still burning. And they don't seem to be going down any.
She said, I will need something to brace my ankle.
Well, maybe you can get one of those torches off, huh? You see Quarex, like an insectoid person with some chitinous armor plates all over, and some small jewelry pierced through those plates in different parts of the body, and long claw-like appendages on its hand, trying to wrest one of the torches from the wall and extinguish it to use as a brace.
As you pull one of the torches, they're from the monolith, not the wall.
No.
When you pull it out, the torch doesn't go out at first. Doesn't want to go out, apparently. But you notice it's not also seeming to burn like it should. For some reason, it's not burning lower. It's not consuming what it's made of. But as you concentrate on making it go out, you find it sputters and dies, leaving you holding a torch that, now that it's out, is cold to the touch. Even the spot where the fire was.
What? We'll bring it over and try to help that grievous wound on her leg.
Well, you have no rope, you have no clothes, you have no cloth. How are you going to find
That's indeed a problem. I'd notice the moment I'm getting closer with the extinguished torch and start looking around for anything that might be flexible enough to be used as a rope.
Was there wadding of fabric that was burning in the torch?
No, it has some pitch-like substance on it, but it doesn't seem to have burned any. And as you look around the room, you notice that some of the stone sarcophaguses have black vines that seem to have come up from the floor out of nothing and grow into the sarcophagus lid itself.
Oh, those will do.
As Keox pulls himself up out of the sarcophagus with the help of Ardor, he looks down at his hand to see the damage, and there's a sadness, but not about the pain. It's about the ruined body paint that extends over from his fingertips down his arm and around his body and down his legs towards his toes. It is intricate. It is not a tattoo. It is something more than henna. And he will gladly kind of nod for the help and then shove his left arm under his right armpit to kind of hold it there. And then I'll use my eye shine to see what I can look beyond the darkness.
As you use the full power of your vision, everything is clear in this room. The flickering light does not throw the shadows that bother you. They do not distract you from the make of the room. And it's clear from looking, a battle took place here of some kind. There was a fight. But at the same time, it's also clear that there's wisps of small tendrils of smoke that are coming from the walls and the floor. And you see where the vines are. You see several sharp stones. No bones, which is odd if there was a fight. No bodies, no blood. But sharp stones. Stones that may be able to break the vines. Perhaps that's your source. But there's no exits yet. There's no anything other than this stone monolith. And the monolith itself, you can see with your eye shine, there seems to be gems in it of some kind, some sort of black jewel. Multiples of them.
Adric's going to wander over to one of the other torches, and as he wanders over, you notice he's not particularly tall, about 5 foot, hunched over, greyish skin, but his arms and legs are much longer than they should be. And on the back of his arms and hands, there's like skeletal body paint in white, of both just the arms, but nowhere else. But he's going to try and take one of the torches, and he's going to see if there's anything around he can use to try and sharpen it into a weapon of some fashion.
Well, when you pull the torch off, it stays lit. There's a flaming torch. The other one, as you share thoughts and emotions, didn't go out into Corex, concentrated on it going out.
I'm not too worried about it going out. I'm going to try and sharpen it on a sharp edge.
On the handle side of it?
Just if it'll smolder or not go out completely.
It doesn't go out. And as a matter of fact, as you rub it against something, the tar-like substance comes off it. But the moment the torch is pulled away, the tar-like substance doesn't burn. And the torch continues. It only sputters where you've touched it to stone, and the moment it's not touching stone, it flares right back.
I'm going to still try and sharpen it on an edge of some fashion.
Okay.
I'm not too worried about it.
So you're going to rub it on some stones. And as you're rubbing it, you realize this torch, the handle, though it looked like shaped wood, is not. It is bone.
Oh.
Which does sharpen to an edge.
But it does.
Is anyone getting the vines to splint up Lysira's leg? It's not hard.
Yeah.
You find a sharp stone, and it takes you a few hits, but you cut sections of vines off, black vines. Though as you cut them free, they're more like veins than vines. Almost made of a biological material that isn't plant. But they come free. And no blood or anything comes out of them. And you have, well, I'll let you, as many as you all want to take. There's enough going into some of these sarcophaguses that you could bind up her leg.
I will bind up her leg, and I will collect like 30 meters or something as an additional rope to take with me in case we need it.
So you're going to tie them together? We will let you do that for now. Now, we won't know the strength of these ties and how well the rope holds up until you try to use it. But
that's true.
You have a large amount of rope. That seems to work well, doesn't it?
Is my leg now usable?
Your leg is usable. It's still painful to walk, but...
Well, I'm disciplined enough that I won't let that show.
Through the support, you can walk fine on it.
Okay.
It just means anything that requires fast movement of the legs, you will have disadvantage on.
Except for with the hooves, I get advantage on it, so it equals out.
I'm gonna grab a sharp stone and go after one of the gems.
As you come up to look at the gems, you notice there's 11 sockets. 4 of them are empty. 7 have a black jewel in it. And the moment you touch one of the jewels, a scream echoes through your head. Take 1 stress, please. Do you pry the gem out?
No, I back away, scared.
Now, you all didn't hear the scream, but you felt the mental pain. You felt what it did to him.
Let's not touch those again.
And Adric's going to have a look around the room to see if there's any exit at all, or if anything that seems to be could be leading to an exit.
As you're moving around the room and thinking about exits.
Would his enhanced hearing help at all?
No, but you do hear, everyone hears it, a grinding noise as you were thinking of an exit. And a large stone slab slid away, showing an archway that you didn't know was there.
Well, that's convenient.
I was thinking of an exit, and an exit appeared.
Lasara is going to think about more vines and see if they appear.
A few flicker in and out of existence. There's more vines than there were, but not as many as you imagined. It seems to be harder to manifest.
She will grab what she can and begin tying them in intricate little knots together to fashion a net.
Okay, make a roll.
She's an artisan.
Make a roll. You're going to use your artisan specialization. That gives you +1 on it. Please make a roll. There's no penalty for a failure other than
The creation
the net
doesn't
comes
work.
apart. Yeah. But go ahead. Well, unless you get a disaster.
That's an 8 and 10.
That is a complete success. The 10 counts. And you use the specialization.
Mm-hmm.
And since you used the specialization on a 10, you get to add a new qualifier to your specialization of artist. Something that narrows it down. What type of artist were you, perhaps? Or materials you worked with. Something that makes it narrower. And you can mark that.
She was highly skilled in knotwork.
So note down artistic knotwork, or knotwork is your second level of that specialization.
Mm-hmm.
So if it involves knotwork going forward, you get to add +2 to your dice.
Okay.
Use of specializations is very important to advancement, provided you don't get any failures. And as you see her work this, she puts together a net made of vine, a black net that almost seems like a net of veins, though you're not sure what creature it would be from. What is everyone else doing?
Qualrex will take one of the still lit torches and examine the combat traces.
There's chips, places where you could see the stone has been nicked by weapons. But you find no weapons left behind, no bodies. It's almost like the battle happened, but whoever won cleaned up to the point where there's not even blood. Was it a battle, or is it a memory of a battle? There's very odd things about this room.
I would like to push on one of the other lids while thinking about treasure.
As you push the lid, it's not hard to push from where you are. Though you're one-handed, you can do it. And as you shove the lid off, is it one that had vines going into the sarcophagus, or is it one that did not?
Probably one that didn't. I don't want to have a repetition of the jewel incident. So if I've seen that they've cleared vines away from one, I'll just push the lid off of that.
As you push the lid off, inside, you see a bed of maybe leaves, maybe rags. There's a body on it. The body could not, well, you're not quite sure the age. It is humanoid in shape. It doesn't appear like any kind of human you've seen or what you consider your own race. But it lies there, dead, not moving, slightly desiccated. Naked as you were. But unlike you, it had a bed of some kind.
Toss the body out.
And you see him pull this body out. When you throw it to the floor, the body just lays there. No marks or wounds or any kind of indication how it died.
I'll take some of the trappings to create a bandage for my arm, for my hand.
Okay. There's more than enough rag you can gather for that. If you all would like to make some sort of crude clothing out of it, you could if you wish, if you care.
Lasara doesn't care. She's completely comfortable in her skin.
That's valid.
But she is grabbing a few stones to tie onto the corners of the net so that if she were to toss it, it had some weight.
Okay. So you all are in this monolith. You all have seen the gems. You have one extinguished torch being used as a crutch. Adric has one of the lit torches. There are, we will say, 3 more torches still lit on the monolith.
After Lasara finishes her net, she actually drapes it around her body, almost like a sarong.
Okay.
And she starts moving towards the panel that moved.
What is everyone else doing?
Adric will go to the archway that's opened up and try to be as quiet as he can, sneak up on it effectively, and just try to peek down to see where it leads, but not actually enter the archway.
And as you're looking, Lasara's coming up. We'll come right back to you in a minute. Kiax, are you doing anything? As you see the two of them?
Yeah, I'm going to take some leaves, shove them into my little bandage, and then just kind of follow suit, seeing that this is the route that everyone wants to take.
Okay. Corax?
I will take one of the torches with me as I follow behind.
Okay, you're going to grab one of the lit torches. And it doesn't sputter at all as you carry it. Now, Adric, as you're looking down and Lasara comes up, you notice that as you look down this hallway, it is odd. You see dim shafts of light peeking through some sort of ruins above. There's stonework of immense size around you. Yet as you look, everything seems to twist and turn. You see stairways that go sideways. You see stairways above you. You see openings in the walls in odd places. The floor doesn't seem to, it looks straight. But as you try to follow it in one direction, you're suddenly going sideways upstairs that aren't on the floor when you look at them separately, but somehow it's almost as if reality is twisted.
I'll try to concentrate on heading up, because it seems we're in some sort of crypt. Try and focus on heading up to see what's above.
And you all watch as he walks forward. And he walks down the hallway. And it's almost as if it's warping as he's walking through this odd, manic kind of a scenery as he starts walking upstairs that are going sideways. Sometimes he's walking on the ceiling. But from your perspective, that's what you see. From your perspective, Adric, you're walking on the floor. They are on the ceiling.
Well,
This is confusing.
let's try to follow then. And I will set my foot there and try and follow.
Is everyone else following? As you all move down this impossible landscape, as it twists and turns, you come to what appears to be bodies. Some are stuck to the walls, some are in the walls, some are half in the walls. One thing is true, though. You can see all of them have large chunks missing from them. Something beast-like with fangs and teeth has chewed parts of these people. But all of them appear to have died in great pain as they are stuck through everything.
How old do these bodies look? Very old or recent?
Some are recent, some are not. Some are wearing what could be considered nobleman's garb. Some are not, some are in rags. None of them seem to have armor or weapons. Some are not even the same races as each other. Anyone from a higher technology world out of this group?
Yes, I come from a nuclear technology world.
Some of them
Cyber.
Some of them appear to have robotic pieces installed in their body. You can see the metal plates. Some have gears, almost as a cyberpunk setup, but others, pistons.
What?
Fascinating. She looks amongst her companions. Do any of them have additions? No?
Not here.
Certainly not.
Well, these look, some of them recent. We will likely come across something aggressive soon.
It could be something, either there's patrol in here or hiding nearby. We should try and be as quiet as we can.
Yes.
Or I can lure it out.
If we encounter it, it's probably best if you stay behind me. Those plates are quite hard.
As you're talking, you notice it wasn't there a minute ago, but there's a flickering light in the distance. Almost like a campfire of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
With smoke pouring off it, wet wood. Or something wet burning on it.
Oh, I think something is trying to lure us.
We can talk into each other's minds, can't we? We don't have to speak out loud.
Mm-mm.
If you try to speak out loud, you speak a language the others don't understand.
So we are actually communicating.
Psychically.
That is the only way to understand each other.
That's okay.
I think something is trying to lure us.
Potentially.
Are there any weapons visible among these bodies?
No. You could break a bone free if you wish. To make a bone club. A jawbone, a skull.
Yeah, I'll hack at one of the legs with the sharp rock that I have.
Okay, you break a leg bone free.
And I'll make a makeshift axe.
And tie it up. Okay.
Yep.
I won't make you roll for that one because that is not that complex. But so you're aware, if you roll a disaster on your rolls, the weapon will shatter.
I'll see if I can try and make a short weapon out of like a splintered bone, like something short like a dagger, just something along those lines, just try and break something.
Okay, for your bone axe, we will give that a weapon rating of Let's go with 4. And you're going to try to make some sort of stone blade or bone blade?
Something along those lines. Probably a
Are
bone
any
one
of the
if-
bodies like in a state of decay where it could easily, like if I struck it, the bones would fall loose?
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to strike it with my whip-like tongue.
And you all see this tongue snake out a lot further distance than you would expect and slash the body, breaking free an arm.
There, get your weapons.
You said there were robotic parts on parts of those bodies
Yes, there are.
using metal. So I'll look amongst them and try to find out if there's something that would be able to be turned into a weapon, or at least a bit of a sturdier club.
None of them seem to be working. But you believe you can, if you pulled one off, you may be able to thread one of the vines through it and make a handy little mace by swinging it around as a heavy metal object on the end of a vine.
That sounds useful. I'm going to try that.
And as you are gathering weapons, a voice, raspy, echoes down the hallway. Are you going to keep me here all night? I've gone through trouble to be here to talk.
That would be not polite, right? So let's go and meet the person.
For your mace, I will give it a weapon rating of 3. For your stone or bone, which one is it, bone or stone knife?
Whichever I'd be able to make easy enough.
It's easy to sharpen the bone.
I'll go with the bone.
Okay, then I will weapon rating of 2, that one.
This thing says it wants to talk.
Oh. Let's go and do that then.
You hear a very almost song-like language come out of her mouth as she responds to this creature. Did you tell these others the same thing?
I do not know what you are speaking. You were not my creation. I do not know what you say. Come. Now, this is the odd part, because you understand clearly what it's saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's saying this to us vocally, like not in our
Vocally,
heads.
yes. And each of you are hearing a language that you understand.
Yeah, in my mind, I'm like, I don't like these.
It's going to be fine. I'll move closer.
As you move closer, you notice there's a figure in a hood sitting by the fire. But somehow the fire smoke always seems to wisp in a way that doesn't allow you to see much other than small glimpses of a withered face. As he's sitting in front of this fire, just staring at it. Have your friends come. Let us speak.
Patrick will try to creep forward slowly to try and keep unseen. But he will approach.
The same thing. Once I see him do it, I'm just like mimic him.
Lysara takes up the rear.
And as you get close, his head comes up and he looks. You can't hide. This is mine, my creation. What's left of it? You endlings have been thrust into our world. forced into Irkalla. You wish to go home.
How do we escape this place?
You can't go home. Your home was a lie. It was a dream, a memory, a nightmare of my slaves. And with my death and their death, it all came to an end. You are all that remains of your world. And this world itself, there is no return from it. Welcome to the hell we created. The hell you helped me create.
How are you here if you're dead?
How are you here if you're dead? A memory, a shard, a bit, piece of me remains, my will to change what is mine. Same as you. Though you were slaves created in nightmare, some bit of that psychic energy lives on in you. I have fallen. Everything I built is coming apart. Where this world touches Irkalla now, you will find bits of all the nightmares and all the dreams that were. Some of it, pain of our own, pain we gave ourselves. I would call it guilt if I had such a feeling, but I don't. I did what I could to survive. Now must you.
I can understand that. What now?
Now you must escape before this place is taken over by either Absu or it fades like your world did. Either one. And then he starts to fade away. The memory is weak. Even now I feel it slipping. And his voice fades with it as he disappears, leaving you in front of a fire that is right there. You can feel the warmth.
Is there anything else in here?
Number of stones, rocks, bones, skulls. Some much larger than you all, some only slightly bigger, some smaller. So varied in sizes. I'm sure if you wish you could make a bone helmet of some kind by just putting a skull on your head.
I'll definitely do that.
Okay. It's a stone. We'll give it a armor rating of 3 for the head. But again, if you roll a disaster or if it takes too much damage, it will shatter. But it's still armor. There's enough if everyone wishes to make a headpiece.
The bone helmet, I'll look for something similar. Any protection's better than nothing.
I'll get the same.
I'm fine.
You all,
I'm fine.
You're fine. You find a variety of skulls.
Do any of the skulls match the marks made on the bodies?
No. Not at all.
I concentrate really hard on an escape.
As you're concentrating on it, you hear a howl from not too far away, but you can't see where it comes from. One howl. Then a second howl. It's all around you. You would estimate 4, maybe 5 sources of howls. But you don't see anything. But mists have started to roll in as well, which is odd.
I will start to illuminate my bioluminescence.
Okay. What purpose are you using it for?
To be able to see through the mist.
Well, you have a fire here. But
Yes.
as you brighten up your skin, it pushes it a little further back. And you actually catch glimpses of pairs of shining eyes.
Mhm.
One, then another. You'd estimate waist height for most of them. But every once in a while, you catch one. Well, if your planet had horses or other or animals like that, that would be the height. About eye level. The shining as it steps forward and then backs up.
Oh, it seems tentative. As one steps forward a bit, she will toss the net.
Okay. How many dice do you wish to roll?
3.
Okay.
And I'd like to use my disciplined specialty.
You wait and hold it until the exact moment you feel is right? Sure. That makes sense.
Okay, that is an 8, a 9, and a 7.
The 9 with your specialty becomes a 10.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, it becomes a complete success. And because you used your specialty and there were no 1s, please add another refinement. That narrows it down from disciplined. Not sure how you would want to narrow it, but it's really flexible.
Patience.
That is where your discipline comes from.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Now, as you throw this out and you stepped a little closer to do it, what you see is a thin, white-skinned, nearly translucent. You can see through it in a lot of ways and see the veins and muscles beneath it. Dog-like, for those that have dogs or their equivalents in their world. It's got a harness of some kind. But it's certainly not what you'd expect. It's totally hairless. Big fangs, snarling teeth. But as you throw your net on it and you hear a howl of rage, from the shadows step 3 more of these creatures and one very large one the size of a horse. We're going to begin combat, everybody. Combat works very uniquely in this game. I, as storyteller or as the master of Irkalla, I don't have to roll, except when you take damage. The players roll, not me. So each of you can wait for them to come into use. You don't have to burn a die to move. You can wait for them to come close to you. Each of you get to pick a target. Now, 1 is already taken out. There's 3 more in the big one. Let's go around the table. Lasara, which one do you wish to attack?
Whichever comes closest to me, I'm going to lash out my tongue at it. My poisonous tongue.
Okay. So you can roll 1 to 3 dice. Now remember, you start with 3. You'll gain a die at the start of your defense phase. And you'll gain a die at the start of your offense phase. But if you deplete your dice, you're undefended. So if you roll 3 now, you only have 1 for defense.
No, I will roll 2.
Okay. So 2 dice.
Ooh, that's a 9 and a 4.
Okay. And because it's combat, you didn't use the specialty anyway.
Mm-mm.
So that is a partial success. A 9 is enough for it.
And it bypasses any armor it has.
Yep. So let's see. You are going to do, I'll pull up my chart here because I got to have nice references for it. Makes it easy for me. Total all the dice you rolled and add the weapon rating of your tongue. And that's how much damage you did.
15.
Did 15. As this tongue flashes out at one of the smaller ones, you see her tongue whip out at this monstrous wolf thing. And it slashes across its neck, severing both the muscle and part of its spinal column as it collapses, twitching to the ground from this tongue. Adric, there's one netted creature, 2 normal-sized ones, and 1 giant one left.
I'll wait to see which one approaches me. I'm not going to move far away from the fire, and I'll try to strike it as it comes towards me. I'll try to move to one side, and
The large one is the one approaching you.
just my luck.
So, how many dice do you wish to use for your attack, or do you want to not have any and save them all for defense?
I'm trying to think whether my thief specialty would help to try and avoid it.
If you can find any way. But that would be on your defense roll, so save that one for that.
True, I'll just use 2 dice.
Okay, 2 dice.
So if that would leave 1 for defense or 2 for defense?
You'll have a second die when it comes defense time.
Well, I'll just roll 2.
Okay. And we
3 and a 10.
3 and a 10. 10, critical success.
The same dice you got the 10 before on. So that's cool.
That's a good die, man. You should keep that die.
Yeah, it was a gift.
You got a 10. You rolled 2 dice. So you're going to do 20 damage plus the weapon rating.
It was 2.
So you did 22 damage to it. And as you hit it, its tough skin seems to absorb a good portion of the blow. But your weapon cuts deep into it. And you hear its howl as it staggers a bit. But it doesn't go down. Kiox, your go. You are facing one of the normal-sized ones.
Yeah, those aren't the odds that I like, having been a bandit. So I'm going to...
There's one on you and one going for Korex. So you only have to deal with one right now.
No, that's not what I'm built for. I'm going to step back towards the one that Lasara netted and just put my 1 foot on its head, 1 foot on its body, and just bring my axe down on itself. An easy kill.
Okay.
It's better than a kill that I have
Then
to
I'll
fight
give you
for.
advantage. How many dice do you wish to roll?
I was going to roll 1, but I'll roll 2 now that I have advantage.
Okay. And what advantage does is it turns any complete failure to a partial success to a complete success.
Okay, that's good, because I rolled an 8 and a 1.
Now, you still gain 2 stress. What is your stress at now?
Now it's at 6.
That's going to get bad very quickly.
Yeah, I know. You don't. I know these things.
But it counts as a complete success. So you did 20 plus the weapon rating.
Just 4.
Which doesn't matter in this case. As you bring your weapon down, you crush its head completely. Cleaving through it. Killing this thing. Korex?
We'll be moving over to the large one because that one looks really dangerous. And I will try to finish what Adric began.
Go ahead. How many dice do you wish to roll?
I'll roll all 3 dice.
Okay.
And I would like to use my warfare knowledge
That
and
gives you a
flanking.
+1.
That is a 6, a 9, and a 3.
Well, thanks to your specialty, that 3 is a 4, so it's not under your stress. You do not gain doom, which is good. What was your highest die?
And a 9.
That makes it a 10. And since you rolled no 1s, you do 30 damage plus your weapon rating.
My weapon is the mace that I built.
That was 3.
That was 3.
33 damage. As your mace comes down on its head, you can feel the strength of its skin, but it doesn't matter. The staggered blow that Adric had done to it caused it to move right towards your swinging mace as it comes in, and this metal piece of this mace crashes into its skull, smashing the whole side of it in as this thing falls to the ground in a mess of quivering, twitching limbs. Leaving only one standing. And that one is going to go after Keox. It moves towards you. And now you get to roll your defense dice. As I said, I don't have to roll dice. How many dice do you have left? You gained 1 for the defense phase. You gained a die.
I'm up to 2 now, so I'm going to use both of them.
You're going to use both dice. Go ahead.
And this is a terrible day for me. I rolled a 1 and 2.
Disaster.
Mm-hmm.
You are going to gain 2 stress.
Yep.
Puts you at 8.
Good times.
Because you rolled under your stress, you're going to gain 10 doom. Because you had 2 dice under your stress. 10 doom. Add 10 more doom to your doom chart.
Got it.
And the only time I get to roll in this game, I get to roll for where you get hit. As you move and were distracted to go squash this one in the net, the other one bites you in the arm. You take, it's going to be a 15 total, which means, let me pull up my sheet here. I do believe that's going to be a major injury. Yes, it is. Mark 1 major injury on your sheet. For those that don't understand, you don't have hit points in this game. You just have injuries. You take a major injury to your arm and describe this injury. That is up to you to describe. As a major injury, what is the major injury?
I think, given that I have turned my attention away towards an easy kill, it would have taken advantage of me not paying attention and come over and just raked down my left arm, severing it even more than what it was already.
Did it break any bones or tear your ligaments, or just giant rents down your arm?
I think for sure there is a fractured bone somewhere.
Okay.
And my arm is now completely limp at my side.
Now, because of the simplicity of this combat system, it comes back to the players. You all gain 1 more die in your combat pool. It is 4-on-1.
Lasara will strike out with her tongue at that one, too.
Okay.
How many total dice do I have available?
I don't know. How many did you spend last year? You did 2 on the attack?
Yeah, and I didn't use any for
You didn't
defense.
use any, so you had 1 left. When you went to defense phase, you went to 2. Now that you're in the combat phase, the offensive phase, you're back to 3.
Okay, so I'll use 2 again.
Okay. I love the combat system in this one. It's pretty simple.
It's a 6 and a 10.
That's more than enough to smash its skull in.
And that would be 18.
More than enough.
Yeah. With the poison stuff,
As
it
it had
bypasses
bitten
the armor.
and rented and tore chunks out of Keox, you spin around with your tongue lashing out, which is still surprising considering it reaches out 10 feet from where she stands and smashes into the side of this thing's head, piercing straight through the skull and into the brain somewhere, because this wolf-like thing collapses to the ground, twitching.
And whatever brain matter is on it, she puts back in her mouth and swallows.
And you hear nothing now. The mist has gone silent. Not a thing is heard other than the crackling of the fire.
They had to come from somewhere. And so she starts walking into the mist and grabs her net on the way.
Now, you all are not hungry now. But if you wish to cut slices out for food, you could always scavenge off these bodies.
I'll be using my claws to rip like a leg from one of the smaller ones.
Okay,
And just carry it with me.
You pull forth a leg. It's not hard, they're dead.
I'll take some strips of meat.
Okay.
Pretty much the same. I'll take some strips.
The meat is not rotting, but it is an odd meat, odd texture to it. You've not seen anything like this before. But you do gather the meat.
Try and see if there's a way to cook it. I haven't said I've got nothing really to hold it in the fire with.
You've got a bone knife.
That's true. And a torch.
And a torch. And as Lysera is looking around, do you walk away from the group or do you just watch as they're gathering up the food and keep watch out in the outer area?
No, I'm actually kind of investigating to see if there's any kind of pathway or doorway or anything like that.
This, where you came into, was some sort of odd open chamber. Now, you could see that the walls up above, they are a good 30 feet up above you.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, they're also a ceiling. They're also a floor. This reality warping effect is odd. It's bothering you as you're looking, but you see the runes continue. It's in all directions from where you can see. It doesn't shift in front of your view, so where the entrance and exit is always where you thought it was. But you know when you walk, you're going to be back on the floor, the ceiling, the walls, sometimes walking straight up, sometimes down. But there's nothing in this labyrinth. No sound other than the fire and the sounds of meat being cut. And very shortly, sound of meat being roasted. Which has a slightly unappetizing smell, but it's not enough to make you throw up or anything.
Well, she just ate raw brain matter. It doesn't really affect her.
And as you're looking around and search the room area, like I said, there's lots of bones and stone bits.
Mm-hmm.
You don't understand where the wood came from for this fire. Because you see no trees, no wood.
Are there no windows?
No windows. It's all walls with a cloudy sky above with rays of light coming through. But sometimes the cloudy sky is all clouds. Sometimes you catch a glimpse. Well, once you swear you saw your sky. What color was the sky on your home world? Was it blue? Or was it a different color?
It was violet.
You've seen the violet sky. Briefly. Almost as if portions of your world are still here. And each of you, as you look at the skies, you see every once in a while a glimpse of something that reminds you of the world you came from. Almost as if bits and pieces of your world are still fighting with reality here to assert itself.
She returns back to the fire where the others are and says to them, I believe there is an exit out of this chamber, but the way this place changes, it is a bit disorienting.
Well, we'll have to keep our mind in check then. and hope that we'll not get into some into something that we can't deal with.
And
What's your arm doing?
A lot of nothing right now. Perhaps we rest, and I motion with my good arm to the fire and the meat that we are cutting.
We could rest and try to bandage up any injuries that there are.
Lasar is going to take the harnesses off of those creatures.
They are a leather-like substance, though the pattern on it doesn't match any animal you have seen.
Are they like straps or are they like...
The harnesses were a series of straps.
Okay.
There was no metal used in it. There seems to be some bone rings that were used to join pieces of strap
She will
together.
remove those harnesses and take them by the fire to take a closer look at them to see what maybe she can fashion out of them.
Okay, what would you like to make out of them?
Mm.
The large animal had quite a bit of harness.
Mm-hmm.
Might be able to reinforce that splint you've got on your leg.
Yes,
for your ankle.
I believe I may take a sharp stone to cut some pieces off to make straps around. Actually, she will break the bone torch into 2 pieces to make it a splint, and then wrap it with the straps.
Go ahead and roll as many dice as you wish, 1, 2, or 3.
We'll go with 3 on that.
Have you got a specialty you're using?
Yeah, I think I'm going to use, hang on.
Remember, the specialties in this game are so great about uniquely flexible.
I am going to use her outcast specialty because she would have had to been very improvisational and make things work as an outcast.
And 9 times out of 10, I will always say, sure. So you get a +1.
All right, that is an 8, a 3, and a 1.
You take 3 stress. What stress does that put you at?
8.
Damn. And you had a 3 and a 1,
Mm-hmm.
gain 10 doom.
All right.
And with an 8, moves it to a 9. You manage to put it on there. A partial success is enough.
Mm-hmm.
It's painful. You all feel the pain as she's tightening it down, as it moves the bone a little bit further back in place. All of you can feel it in your head. But she manages to secure her leg a bit better. Her broken ankle.
How much of that stuff is still left?
Oh, quite a bit.
Of those?
Quite a bit.
Horse-sized.
You see strappings all over the place.
They would be Great Dane and horse size. There was 3 Great Dane and 4 Great Dane ones because one was in the net and a horse-sized one.
Okay. There is stone around. There is wood around.
Only in the
and
fire.
there's- Only in the fire. That's not a lot. I would try to find bone. There's a lot of bones around as well, right?
Oh, yes.
Good. I will try to fashion something big.
What kind of thing big?
An armor for one of us.
You're going to make bone armor.
Bone armor, exactly.
Interesting.
Using the straps, using the things. Having been a merchant, I think I would have also been able to make some of the stuff that I was selling, especially.
Okay.
Maybe it was an armor.
I like that. That's a good specialty. You're a merchant because you were used to taking things to make them more valuable by crafting them and putting them together. That sounds great to me. How many dice you wish to roll?
All 3.
All 3. Go ahead.
I'm going to take advantage of some of the straps before they all get taken and use my wretched specialization to create a makeshift sling with some of the bones as well.
Okay.
An 8, a 9, and a 3. And since I used the merchant,
Makes it a
we're
10.
back at
You did
a
not
10
get a
and a
1,
4.
so it counts as a
Yep.
10. So you do get to add a specialization under merchant. Something that's a little narrower than merchant.
I'm going to take an armorer.
Okay. And because you rolled 3, your stress is going up by
Does the 3
1. You gain 1 stress, just 1.
Okay. Because that would have been a 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because of the +1 from the.
Actually, let me
Much-
double check. I want to make sure I'm not giving you stress when you don't need it. Let me double check real fast.
I mean, not that it's a big problem, but
Nope, it doesn't. Nope, you're fine. You don't gain the stress from that one. It's only when you get the 1s.
Oh, how nice for you to not get stressed.
okay.
It adds up very
I'm
quickly.
gonna-
with
Oh,
1s.
I'm stressed. I'm stressed.
So you make a set of bone armor. It is, you already have a bone helmet. So whoever wishes
I
to
don't.
wear it can put it on, and it will give you 3 armor over each of those places, over your body. So put 3 for each spot.
I will look at who's looking the most problematic, and I think that is our wounded person. And I'm going to give that bone armor to what was Archon's character, whose
No,
name I forgot.
I'm gonna point at Adric and just be like, it makes sense for him to have it. He is unhindered by pain.
Fair. And I'll just hand it over. I already have those. And I'll hit my chitinous plates.
I rolled 2 dice for my sling creation, just in case.
Okay.
I rolled a 6 and a 10.
So you can narrow your specialty down 1. Slightly narrower. Each time it'll get a little more and more narrow until you have level 5 in it. If you don't die first.
Looking like I'm gonna die soon.
Oh, yeah.
Can I make it something like MacGyver-y,
What was the first level you were using?
wretched? So scrapping things together like MacGyver.
Sure. Or you could go, for that one, I would go ingenuity.
Yeah.
There we go.
Ingenuity.
That's a good word.
That's a good one.
Wretched ingenuity.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Taking practicality to the extreme.
So, Adric, you got the armor pieces that were made?
Yeah.
Keox, you have a sling. You could use bone or you can use stones. It's up to you because there's enough small stones you could easily use the sharp bits of stone for a sling. Maybe a couple of the skulls as a heavier weapon to throw.
Any leftover harnesses and stuff? Because you said they had like bone latches and
Rings
stuff.
and stuff,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. I will fashion them basically like into a skirt so that they can be taken with us and used as needed.
I will look at that skirt and think if you just put it around, you have something like a chain shirt that's a bit weak.
She already has her net across her bodice, her torso.
Fair.
Basically, she's wearing combat gear.
Yeah, I see. I see.
She doesn't care about clothes. Nothing's getting that close to her.
Well then, I think we did what we wanted to do, right? Should we sleep?
These creatures weren't fur covered at all, were they?
No,
No.
completely hairless.
Hairless.
You could still skin them.
Yeah.
They had thick skin.
I'll try to do something along those lines to try and make
Like almost like a leather.
pouches we could
Bags to carry?
Mm-hmm.
You could even use the tendons or sinew to stitch them together if necessary.
It's up to you on that one. It's easy to make bags if you want to roll. If you do roll, you're risking stress, but you're also giving yourself the potential to increase the specialization.
I will also assist him with my artisan specialty.
Okay.
Because my character's got the Grim specialty. He's had to struggle and make do before, so I'll see if that's solid.
Okay.
Dirty
So-
work as such, but someone's got to do it.
Lysera's going to make some with her artistic.
Yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll basically, once you gather the materials, Lysara will basically have you sit down beside her and she will show you how to make the bags.
Well, then both of you decide how many dice to roll.
I'll roll 2.
I rolled 2 as well. I got
I'll just
And I
watch.
will use my artisan specialty.
Okay. What did you get, Adric?
8 and a 9.
So that gives you a 10. You
Yep.
can refine your specialty down one level. And
And-
Lysara,
I got a 9 and a 10.
now you using your specialty as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one you already had a +2 on.
Yep.
So now you get to refine it even further, which will give you a +3 bonus. But now it's even narrower.
Yep.
Which leather did you use? From the small ones or from the?
I would
From
imagine
the-
to make bags, he could scrape it from these smaller ones.
Yeah.
Is why not milk it once we're here? I'll start skinning the big one and make another set of armor.
I mean, it's horse size. That's more than enough to make armor. But that one I'm going to make you roll because that's armor. Pick
Yep.
how many dice. So you all have bags now, pouches, things to carry stuff in.
I took a specialty in leathercraft.
Okay. That fits with what you did.
Sure. I'm going to take my armor off of that,
Okay.
and
So that's
all or
+2.
nothing. 3 dice is and that's a rolled 10 and a rolled 2
But you did not get a 1.
and a 5.
You did not get a 1. So you
That's
got a
not
10,
a 1.
a 2, and a 5. So because you did not roll a 1, you can increase your specialty a little narrower. I think with armor and what you were doing, hide armor.
Hide armor. Hide armor sounds good.
That's a little bit narrower, isn't it? Because that's what you were working with. So now you have a set of armor. The hide is going to be armor 2. Who gets the hide set of armor? Who are you making it for?
I was making it for Lysara.
So I'm sure you got her input as to where she wanted it cut in
Yeah.
here, tailored here, expose this
I mean,
body part here. She is a walking
I
succubus,
assume
of
so.
course.
Yeah, she is a very attractive being. But yeah, and she instructs you where to tailor it, basically to nip in and stuff like that with it. And she puts it on, and it is very fitted. It actually does cover her, but it is very fitted.
I mean, it's supposed to protect you. It needs to fit perfectly, right?
So you have 2 armor in every spot except your head. You still have 3 from the bone in your head.
Mm-hmm. And then she will replace the net over the armor and the skirting over the armor.
Good.
To have her weapons handy.
Any last things before you set out once again into the labyrinth?
Don't think so.
Everyone put some of the meat you roasted into the bags. We don't know when we'll be able to get
Yeah.
more.
And as part of
Fill it
the
up.
making of the bags, you actually seared them
Mm-hmm.
on the fire to make sure that they're not gooey still inside.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
quick cure.
probably take some small stones in case we need to use them as a distraction.
Okay. There's many of them.
Yeah, we'll gather up anything usable in the room.
And as you move forward into this labyrinth, what is your plan for movement? Do you have there's side passages. There's all kinds of different directions you can go. Do you have a method to your madness? Or do you all just let fate decide?
I think we should all focus on an exit.
The last time you did that, you
I did
called these
escape.
beasties.
I did
you did
escape.
escape. Sure.
So an exit.
From exit.
That makes sense.
Let's focus then.
As you are moving forward, the surrealness of this place still gets to you. It seems odd to be walking on the side of the wall 1 minute, the ceiling. Though for you, down is always down. It's just everything else shifts with it. You don't understand how it works. Sometimes you get bits and pieces of your world. Kiax, you've heard the voice of a family member briefly from the mist that's around you. What family member might you have heard?
Had to have been my sister. Her singing always brought me comfort. So that's probably something that I'm also thinking about in the back of my mind.
And it's funny, you hear bits and pieces of it. Every once in a while, you all catch the glimpse of a figure in rusted armor with a large spear in its hand. Just briefly. It's always behind you, never in front of you. And it's not close. You catch it in the distance, right at the edge of the mist, as if it's following but not getting too close. As if it's watching.
Does it make any sound?
No.
You cannot even hear it with like enhanced hearing.
No. It's a fragment, maybe. Perhaps it's part of the oddness of this place. But for too long, you actually all start to hear singing. Though, Kiax, this is not the same voice as you were hearing of your sister. A woman is singing, and you hear violins, or a stringed instrument. For those that didn't come from a planet with violins, you hear a stringed instrument with it. A very haunting, slow pace, and it's echoing off the walls around you.
Lasara will start singing softly in harmony to it.
As you do, you come across, you can see it in the distance. It's almost a curtain of velvet hanging over a doorway. There's light peeking out from under the curtain. And that is where the voice and the music is coming from, somewhere beyond that.
Well, let's not let them wait for too long, right?
As you approach the curtain, it is definitely velvet, but it's moldy. It is damp, damaged in many ways, but it covers the doorway. The sound is definitely somewhere beyond it. You don't think it's right next to it. Not the voice, not the music. But you hear something moving in the room, and every once in a while you hear a soft sob coming from the other side of this curtain that you're standing in front of.
Well,
It's not exit.
it's not. But let's see what this is. It might help us lead us through. Might be a way to we have to go. And I'll just enter.
When you move the curtain aside, you all see there's a woman in the room, very thin, malnourished, in a dress covered in filth. There's a black jewel stuck in her chest, right above her rib cage, right above the xiphoid process, right in the center.
Xiphoid part.
Xiphoid process. It's been a while since I did my CPR stuff.
Leave it to the nurse.
But as you look, her skin is rotten, and you can smell the stench of decay. But she's walking jerking, almost like a puppet, like a marionette. Every once in a while she sobs, but the music is not coming from her. It's coming from a doorway on the other side of the room covered by a curtain, as is the singing. And she is just she walks from one end of the room to the other, every once in a while stopping to sob.
I will take a piece of meat out of my bag.
Oh. And Lysara immediately sticks a hand up. Watch how she paces. She doesn't even notice us. If we skirt around her to the door, we may not draw her attention.
Sure. But
Do not
Do we
trust
need to-
anything here. This
Behind
is a
her.
place of nightmares.
fair. I was just thinking there was a possibility of easing a little bit of suffering.
Yes, but what if she bites the hand that feeds?
Well,
Is the gem the same one that we saw at the Monolith?
Yes. As you recall, there were 4 missing gems in the Monolith.
I
It
bring
is-
that memory back up to the surface.
Yes, I do not trust her at all. Let us skirt around. When she is at the opposite end, we move towards the door, near the
Okay.
wall.
We can walk past behind her when she's.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't pay attention at all to you. And when she turns as you're at the other side of it, her head doesn't even look your direction. It's like you're not there to her.
what if we need that stone back in the obelisk to get out?
If we do, we come back and get it.
Can we come back though?
If we will it hard enough.
Got here once, we can get here again.
Sure, hope you're ready.
And we move through the door.
And as you open the curtain, you see another room. It's a lavish room, though the mold and the dust and the decay is evident all through it. And there are a number of women in the room dancing. And around the rim of the room appear to be individuals playing violins. The violins themselves old, decayed. You don't know how the strings are even managing to make noise. Each of the ones around the room has their eyes obviously removed, their ears sewn shut, their mouths sewn shut. But the women, each one of them is beautiful, gorgeous. Even though you're not of the same species, they still strike you as beautifully seductive as they dance and move around the room. And as you open the curtain, they actually turn to you, but don't approach you. They alter their dance, almost waving you towards them.
I know this trick. is there
This
a
looks
door
like a
on the
trap.
other side of the room?
Well, yes, there is. It's an actual wooden door.
Yes, we will. I literally, you see Lysara walking between the dancers and the musicians straight to the door.
What's everyone else doing?
I'll follow her. She seems she knows what she's doing.
The closer you get to these women, you start to smell the scent of mold and dust coming stronger. And you look closely at her, at the women.
Lysara does not.
No, I'm gonna
and
pick
there's-
up the rear, but I'm trying not to.
Be careful, these are sirens.
And you hear the music and the singing coming from them. But you notice as you're walking by, when one opens its mouth, it has no tongue.
So how is it singing?
Interesting. And then as you get to the other door, you realize, as you look back at the room you were coming from, these women are all corpses, decayed. The beauty is not real. It wasn't there. It was an illusion the whole time. Their seductive movements are actually jerky, forced upon dead bodies. The ones playing the violins are struggling. And right here, everybody, we are going to go to break as they have bypassed the room. We will see everybody in 10 minutes. Please enjoy the break. The artwork in the slides you're seeing are straight from the Irkalla book, used with permission, of course.
Thank you to the creator for that permission.
Thank you for that. We appreciate it. And you get to see some of the theme of the world. We will see everybody in 10 minutes. Get a drink, get a snack, because we're not done yet. Welcome back, everybody. Well, before the break of this dark show, the Endlings woke. Well, they watched their worlds be destroyed and then found out that their world never existed. It was all a nightmare of a psychic, and they were drugged into the world of Irkalla. Now, I'm going to mention this because, of course, I do love the fact that we're streaming this today. This weekend, by the way, Irkalla the PDF is free on DriveThruRPG and through Sunday. And the reason it's free is they have actually finally released a print-on-demand version, because prior to this, the way to get the hardcover, you had to have been a Kickstarter backer. But now there's a print-on-demand version. So if you want your chance at a print-on-demand, well, you can get it printed on demand now.
I'm pulling up the link to post in chat.
My wife will post up the link, because the PDF is great, but some of us also like to have hardcover books. So not going to lie, we may be adding one of the hardcovers to our collections, because we love to have a hardcover of most of the games we play. And this is the second time we've played this. The first time we focused on brutality. This time on the surreal horror of it all. So it's not a stream that...
Yep, the PDF is free. You can buy yourself a print-on-demand hardcover. It's amazing. This game is so much fun. Now, I will say, you need a group to play it that really enjoys dark horror. Possibly folks that like what we stream here at McStabber Studios, World of Darkness content, Call of Cthulhu content, that kind of stuff. Those are going to be your players that really enjoy Irkalla, because seriously, it is brutal and dark, and it gets to the point where, for us, because we play dark games all the time, that we can find the humor in it and just be like, whatever, we'll shrug this stuff off. But if you're used to playing lighter games, this will be shocking. So
it is not a game for everybody, but if you have players that like the dark horror, the surreal horror, the Cronenberg-esque kind of horror type things, because you're in a land of monstrosities.
I love that this place is like an M.C. Escher painting.
Yep. And if you have players like that, or you like that, of course, I suggest you do it. And for those that don't understand, I knew this right away. Irkalla is actually the Sumerian world for their underworld, for their version of the afterlife. So you are traveling technically through the Sumerian afterlife.
And yes, Ipacho, paper still has its spell. I love to get hard copies of RPG books. I do.
Yep. So as we left before, we have Lysira with a shattered ankle that is
splinted up.
Kiax rents down one arm, making it useless. Smashed hand. We have Adric wearing his bone armor. Kiax the insect, or Quarax the insect, with no armor that he needs to wear. You all are standing in front of a door, and behind you is a harem of corpses. And this is a large oaken door, intricately carved, though you don't recognize any of the symbols.
I believe what we are experiencing is the memories of the one that spoke to us at the fire. And she opens the door.
And when you open the door, you're in a room of red fabric and mahogany wood. It's everywhere. Gold, there's gold on the candles that are lit from the ceiling. And gold candelabra. It appears to be gold leaf on almost every surface and there's a bed covered in red curtains. But as you open the door, you're immediately hit by a wave of sadness, of remorse. And you see no other doors from where you're standing out of this room. There is something on the bed, but you can't see it. It's not moving, but there is something on the bed you can see barely through the sheer curtains.
Are there windows in this room?
No.
I'll approach the bed to see if I can get a better look at what there is.
There's a woman, obviously mummified at this point, desiccated beyond belief, in a red dress with a golden crown on her head, laying in the bed. And there's a silver dagger that's been plunged over into her heart. As she lays there dead.
I'll step up too.
I'm going to imagine a trapdoor under the bed and just kind of let that be, I think, what pushes us forward.
Okay. As you're looking around.
I don't want anything to do with this dead woman.
You can feel the closer you are to the bed, the more guilt, loneliness, and sadness washes over you.
I'll try to pull the dagger out of the corpse.
It's easy. The dagger pulls right out. And with
Anything
a
happen?
gasp of air, the body almost deflates some. It sinks down. Please, you got to roll a skill test. As
Sure.
many dice as you wish.
I'm taking 2.
Okay.
That's a
Because
9
if
and
you
a
grab
4.
it, I'll let you decide if you have a specialization based on what you're feeling. As you pull it out, you feel the guilt, the loneliness, the sadness. Your heart feels completely empty. And you have a desire to plunge this knife into your own chest. Do you have a specialization that you feel will help you resist this urge?
I have the horrific specialization, which is something I've felt that way so often.
Okay, you can
I
roll.
don't think that I'm acting on.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
As many dice as 1 to 3 dice.
We're taking 2. That's a 2 and an 8. So a 3 and a 9.
That is enough to stop you from giving yourself a mortal wound. And you take this knife and you actually start to stab into your chest. Mark a mortal wound on your chest. But you stop before you plunge it all the way in. And with the pain that washes over you, the feelings of guilt and loneliness and remorse fade away. And now you have a silver dagger. You can note it as weapon rating 5. It's quite sharp. And you all see him do this.
Grievous.
It is major wound.
Major. Okay.
You didn't plunge it that deep. The pain brought you back to your senses. But you all felt the emotion rolling through Quorex. You felt the pain. Then you feel it fade away all of a sudden. And you notice, as you're looking under the bed, Quiax, you don't see anything under the bed, but you notice there's a scuff marks and the dust is displaced along one of the curtains on the side of the room.
I'll send that image to everybody else.
Lysara will walk up to it and move it.
And as you move it, it's obviously there's a door here, though you can't tell how to open it yet. But there's several pieces of furniture in the room. The bed, a chair, an armoire, a desk with a jewelry box, mirrors.
Are the hinges on our side or the other side?
Other side. It's obviously a stone door, but you can tell it's moved a lot.
I'm going to go to the vanity,
Okay?
the desk vanity.
And as you look in the mirror, did you have a loved one?
Long dead.
Well, you do see them in the mirror standing beside you as you look in this mirror. Only briefly it's there, and then it fades.
Nice little trick. And she's going through the jewelry box to see if there's any buttons or things, and then she looks in the drawers to feel if there's any buttons or things in there.
There's no buttons. There's, in the jewelry box is several pieces of gold and silver. Intricate pieces of jewelry. Might be worth something if this world has an economy of some kind.
She will throw some in her bag.
Okay. Add 1 wealth. Plus 1 wealth. You have 1 wealth on your character for now.
Okay.
Wealth is very abstract in this game. And as you're looking around, Kyriax, as you were noticing on the floor, looks like one of the chairs is actually bolted to the floor. Which is very odd.
I'll go over to it and I'll sit down in it, see if it's weight.
And as you
operated.
sit in it, there's something under the cushion. You can feel it. It's poking you.
And in my no square. I'm gonna see what's under it.
There's a small lever under the chair cushion.
Flip it. See what happens.
When you flip it,
Yes.
you hear a grinding of stone as this doorway opens.
I'm also going to inspect the armoire while he's doing that.
Inside the armoire, you see, well, several dresses of red. They're rags now. Obviously were once very nice clothes. Seems she had a pattern for wearing red. Many dresses in there.
Do they look serviceable for rehabilitation, like basically creating something with them?
You could use them as rags. If you could find a way to clean them some, they'd make good bandages.
Okay, she'll take 1 or 2. Not
Okay.
not all of them, but 1 or 2. Basically.
Anyone else would like to grab some? You can grab some from it.
Does there seem to be much that seems to be valuable in this room?
I mean, there's a gold chandelier. There's gold candle holders.
Thinking of something small enough to just bucket without.
Well,
someone
candle
who's,
holders are rather small, technically. It's not a full candelabra. It's a candle holder. Holds a single candle.
Just grab a couple of those, or maybe
Okay.
just the one.
I will give you 1 wealth.
I'll be using the cloth to, patch up, do a little patch up on the hole that I made in my torso,
Okay.
in between the plates, and just make sure that I'm not bleeding or something.
You managed to stop the bleeding pretty easily. It's not hard. You're not sure about the cleanliness of these kind of bandages, as none of you have seen water at all in this world yet,
Not yet.
or anything liquid to drink.
As I
It'll have to
basically
do.
wrap a couple dresses up into bundles and tuck them under my arm, I walk towards the door.
Adric, as you're looking through the door, there's something on the floor there, something that you know. Small memento from your life. Very important to you. What is it?
Likely a small figurine, not the size of a chess piece.
You don't know why it's there, but it's there in front of you on the floor. And it doesn't disappear. It's there.
Doesn't make sense. Why is this here? And I'll pick it up.
It's there. It's in your hand. Feels exactly as it always has. It's a memory of home. And it's real.
Small figurine carved of one of my parents.
A last vestige of your world in your hand. And you see this passageway is not the surreal labyrinth you've been to. This is a straight passage. It does not twist and change. It just goes off into the distance.
The way forward.
One step at a time, right?
I'll work my way carefully down this corridor.
We all follow.
And as you move forward, you go down this corridor, and you still don't hear any other sound other than you all. No grating of stone. And as you move further and further away, with a loud crash, you hear a wooden door being splintered behind you somewhere. But you come to an odd room. It's a ledge in a large cavern. As you stand on this ledge and look down, you can't see the bottom of the cavern at all. There's no ledge that goes around it. It's just a small ledge where you stand. And as you're standing there, a series of ropes are suddenly dropped in front of you. 4 ropes.
Going up or down?
Going up. And looking up, there's a cloaked figure with a staff who looks down, and his voice echoes through the stage or through the cave. I don't want you to die. I don't want you to die. Come, take my offerings, this gift for your survival, so you can grant an offering to me.
Lasara grabs a rope and starts climbing.
When you grab the rope, a horrible scream rips through the chamber, and you notice the other end of this rope is on a hook. And impaled on this other end of the hook, somebody who was important to you in your old life. Who is it?
Her lover.
This hook, as you climb, it's dragging through his body.
Her
body. My mistake. Digging deeper and deeper. And the screams of pain. And as you do this, this figure cackles. Nothing comes without pain. Everything
She
has
was
a
already
price.
dead.
But is she? And you can feel the rope you're climbing slick with blood as you're coming up. What do the rest of you do?
How's the wall look like?
Smooth. You'd have trouble climbing it.
I think the only option we got is to climb these. And don't like the idea of this, but we're going to have to go that way. And I'll grab a rope and start climbing up.
And the other end of the rope is in a hook of one of someone important to you. Who is it on the end of your hook?
Likely my mother, the person the figurine was of earlier.
And she screams, "Why are you doing this? This hurts. You're killing me." And the creature cackles again. Quiax, what are you doing?
I'm going to look at our armorsmith friend, Quarix, and just point to my left arm in a bad sling. I cannot climb rope by myself. Unassisted, will need help.
Well, sling your arm around me and your functioning one, and I'll just climb using both ropes, his and mine.
I'm going to make you roll for that one, the added weight. Pick
Use
how
your
many
rope
dice.
to tie him to you.
Ooh, that's true. I have rope. I forgot that.
You can make like a harness for him to ride on you.
You know, my safe word is daiquiris.
You're going to make a rope to harness him to climb up? But the added weight, I still want you to roll for the added weight.
Mhm.
Oh, of
Sure.
course, of course.
How many dice? 1, 2, or 3?
Sure. 3.
Okay. And I'm sure you have a specialization you think could broadly be applied to this. The beauty is anything that one of your specializations that might have involved a rope or desperate situations or even powering through pain of loved ones.
That's a pretty grim thing. Luckily, I have that one too.
There you go. That's pretty fucking grim. That's a +2 for you, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's your
I
second
have
level.
horrific and grim. I'm not sure.
Grim is your second level. That was your second specialization under horrific. So that gives you +2.
Okay. So that's an 8, a 4, and a 3.
That
But
makes it
since
a 10. Makes it a complete success. And since there were no ones, what is your new specialization under Grim? A little finer than Grim for a +3.
Brutal.
yeah, callous maybe.
Callous.
Like
I like
that one.
that.
Callousness. That is your +3. You're brutal by not hesitating by the sheer callousness of what you're doing. And as you're screaming, who is on the other end of your rope, Corex?
There is a very cherished teacher, as there are no normal families in my civilization.
And she screams out, I taught you better than this. What should
I know.
matter is the species survive, not the individual, as you are doing here. Quiax, who is on the other end of yours that you're hearing scream?
It would be my sister. And I'm doing my best just to keep my head down, not making eye contact, and just kind of whispering in my mind words of encouragement to Corax.
The words that were a song before is not a song now. It's a cacophony of screams. And at each scream, this thing laughs. I gave you safety, and in return, you feed me. See, that is how this works here. That is how you survive. Everything has a price, and for those willing to pay it, well, you'll go far. And it's still there.
Who are you?
Oh, me. They call me Vorukar the Wanderer. I wander this world and help those sometimes. Sometimes punish. I am fickle. Today, I help.
I look around.
And you're climbing it. And the hook has finally snagged, and you realize there's a tree where your loved one is attached to, your lover. And it's firmly set in the tree now, as your lover has quit screaming as you're climbing up this rope. And he's still talking to you. You don't know where you've come. You're in a land of ash and pain and suffering. What happened here? Well, an architect has fallen, causing reality to crash around it. The dreams that they had, the dreams of the slaves, all manifest in one spot. Did you see the queen?
Yes.
He killed her. Do you think he was sorry that he did? If he wasn't, why would it be here? Why would it have existed and manifest here? You're learning something new. When you leave this place, reality is firm, except when it's not. Where the psychic dreams touch the world, things change, things shift. But there's always suffering. To survive, you must be willing to inflict suffering from time to time. Though you feed me, that is a lesson I give you in return.
She
You called
turns and
yourself-
looks at the tree.
It's a tree. You haven't reached the top yet.
Oh, okay. Well, she's going
As
to
you're
reach the
climbing.
top.
Okay. Corex, you were going to say something?
No, if we're not up yet, then I'm just keep climbing.
Anyone want to say anything during the climb? When you reach the top, where this shadowy figure on a staff was, you notice is a pile of stones shaped like a man. But the tree and your loved ones, now all dead, blood streaming out, ripped through these hooks. They're quite real, quite hooked to this tree. As was the rope you climbed with a hook on the end.
Lysara walks up to her lover's body. Takes her hand, kisses it.
It's cooling, but it's not cold yet. They were alive from everything you can tell.
She closes her eyes and opalescent tears start streaming down her cheeks. She removes the hook from her lover's body.
And it comes free.
And starts coiling up the rope.
Okay.
Is she still against the tree or has she fallen?
She's been nailed to the tree. The body still hangs there.
She's going to take the hook end of this rope that she now has coiled around her arm and try to pry the nails out of her lover.
Okay. You can work them free. The wood, you're not quite sure how it managed to hold the weight. It's rotted. The nails pull free easily. And as you're pulling the nails free, you actually hear an echoing laughter of that raspy voice echo through this chamber. What is everyone else doing?
Look to my teacher. I take the silver dagger and I just shove it to the neck and pull it to the side.
And blood seeps from the wound, but the heart is no longer beating. It is not pumping. They are dead.
Just making sure. Let's keep going. There's no need on.
Adric, I think you're muted. I see your mouth moving.
Oh, sorry, I hadn't muted. I just hadn't spoke up loud enough. Yep. Adric will approach the body of his mother. Is the body warm or cold?
Oh, it's warm. As a freshly dead corpse would be.
He'll be crying as he approaches her because he's not sure whether this is real or not, but it seems it was real. He thought it wasn't. Thought this was just another illusion. But as he approaches her, he'll remove the hook and the rope. He'll wind the rope back up. So at least he's got that as an option.
The hook and the rope are real for sure. The hook is actually fine quality metal for some reason, not decayed like everything else.
As seeing Lysara taking the body of her lover down, he'll do much the same. He'll try to use the hook to prise the nails loose.
Okay.
And if he manages to free her body, he'll lay her body on the floor.
As you lay the body on the floor, it lays there limp. Rigor mortis hasn't even set in.
Lysara is covering her lover with the stones that are in the shape of a man.
Okay. And you build a cairn. Mm-hmm. And as you're standing here, you still have these torches that don't seem to have burned out yet. And you see there's a passageway leading off. Quiax, are you doing anything with your dead sister?
Yeah. It takes a long moment. Probably not until Lysara is done burying her lover that I actually step forward I will kiss my sister's forehead, and I will trace the coloring of her body paint with my right hand on her left arm, almost as a mimic of my useless arm. And in our language, I would just say to her very softly as I touch my forehead to hers, I will be with you soon, sister. There will be no more pain after this. And I will make my way to wherever everybody's gathering.
I'll take a moment. You all take a moment to give the well wishes to the loved ones. Somehow you all know this will probably be the last time you see anyone from your world other than yourselves. You don't know by what trick they were brought here. You're not even sure if it's actually real or not. But it feels real. It's remembered as real. But you have a passageway that runs smooth, angles up slightly. And in the distance, there's a flickering light, almost by candle, you think, of a room in the distance.
Let us press forward.
Let's leave this place as soon as we can.
I'm just grabbing the other two hooks, if that's okay with you. Might need them, including the rope.
It's a good 40-foot of rope. Very thin, very light, but very strong. You don't know what it's made of.
It's made of rope. I don't want to know.
Lasara picks up the rear.
As you move forward down this hallway, you see the candlelight is flickering on a chamber of some kind, and you catch bits and pieces of piles of flesh and bone with skulls decorating the top. As you get close enough to see, you see this is a large circular chamber. And there's 5 totems made of flesh and bone, and blood, sitting on top of a basin in a circular pattern. And in the center of the circular pattern, there is a hooded figure standing in the middle of a sigil drawn in blood. And when you get close to the room, he looks over at you and he holds up a scroll in his hand and lays it in the center of the pattern on the floor. Let draw blood remain untouched, but offer your own to the idols of dark gods if you wish to receive their gifts. Be warned of its permanence, however. And then it fades from view, leaving you alone in a room with a sigil of blood on the floor and 5 totems. And at each of these totems, you notice the basin at the base of them has blood in it. One totem has iron chains and a pickaxe. One is covered in mineral growths with a hand on top. One has rotting fruits and a bag. One with antlers and a spear. The final one has a tattered fur cloak. And the scroll that he left behind is still in the center of the sigil.
I want to take a look at the scroll.
Okay. To do so, you're going to have to roll to try to avoid stepping on any of the blood sigils.
Okay.
Because it's intricate.
Okay.
As she moves forward, I'm going to take a look at from this distance, I'm going to take a look at the totem with the spear and try to remember if that's the same spear that was following us in the mist.
No. But you know, as you stand there in front of this totem, An offering of blood will be rewarded.
I'm going to use my wasteland specialty.
Okay. You're used to walking carefully in the wasteland?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. How many dice do you roll for this one?
2. That is a 9 and an 8.
Very good. So you can improve your specialty.
Trying to think of how to improve it.
That's the question.
Obstacle avoidance?
That's a good one. And as you pick up on the scroll, there's something written on it. And I'm posting it in Zoom chat, but I'll read it out loud.
Okay.
But I want it in Zoom chat so you can refer to it. Rights to harvest the manifest of Krilovoth. Pluck from the harvester the least amount of fruit necessary to perform the ritual. Leave offerings of fruit in equal amounts to the blacksmith, the hunter, and the wanderer. After making an offering, you must display to the alchemist how much plucked fruit is left so that he may double that amount. After all offerings have been made, no plucked fruit shall be left anywhere but the offering basins of the blacksmith, the hunter, or the wanderer. Suffer your fate if you falter from this formula or attempt to use deception in any way. Now, I will say, you feel that is different from the offering of blood that you can already feel, Quiax, as you're standing in front of this spear. This totem of, well, a hunter.
It is instructions.
Looks like a puzzle.
Indeed.
The least amount of fruit necessary to perform the ritual would be one in front of each of them. Since we need the offerings there. Once we've done that, the amount that is left is going to be doubled. So I would go over to the harvester and see how much fruit is in there.
There's lots and lots of fruit. Now, I am a benevolent master of Irkalla. I will give you hints. If you roll, and roll well enough.
I'm going to use her patient specialty. She's going to be literally patiently reviewing this and looking at the tableau in front of her.
Okay, go ahead. Never say I'm not generous.
That's an 8 and a 1.
Gain 2 stress.
Yeah, I've maxed out stress.
How much stress did you have?
8.
Gain 1 stress and 5 doom.
Okay.
You are now at 9 stress.
Yes, I am.
You gain 5 doom now.
And I'm at 50 doom.
And now anytime you roll less than a 9,
I fail.
you have to start taking doom checks.
Yeah.
But
That is a bold choice.
It was a bold choice, Cotton.
whatever you pick, when you make your first offering, it says specifically you have to display to the alchemist how many fruits you still have left in your hand that you picked, and it will double the amount. So if you only pick 3 and you place 1 at the first one, then show the alchemist you will have 4 in your hand and 1 in the blacksmith's.
I see.
So you must figure out exactly by using that doubling
How many
you
we
have
need to
pick
take.
to
Right.
put the same amount in those 3's piece.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. It's tricky.
Okay, hang on. I'm reading through the ritual again. I may have to write this down.
You may.
Because
I said there's a chance.
It's a puzzle.
There's a puzzle in this one. It's always interesting.
All right.
Is only one of us supposed to make this offering? Because this changes for all of us involved, no?
It says after all offerings have been made.
And I will give you on that one. It only has to be made. Everyone in the room is subject to the same fate, whether it's made correctly or not.
Mm-hmm.
So if everybody of us takes one each, makes the offering at the same time, and goes to them.
You have not shown the alchemist any fruit,
So he will double nothing.
so he will double nothing and you will fail.
Right.
That would
Oh,
probably fall under deception.
okay.
But that is still
I will-
separate from a blood offering if you wish to offer to any of these basins blood.
I will go in front of the blacksmith.
Okay? Iron chains with a blood basin.
I'll just feel a bit and think about what sort of offering a blacksmith would
Oh, you know.
help me with.
You can feel it as you stand in front of it. Blood in the basin.
I'll take my silver dagger and I'll cut along my arm.
Give
And
yourself
then giving it blood.
5 doom. And your minimum
Okay.
doom is also increased by 5. So you have 5 higher minimum doom. But the iron pickaxe falls from the totem at your feet.
I'll take it.
And you can pick it up. The weapon rating on it is 9.
Solid. That's got some heft to it.
Mm-hmm. So now there is one that has a hand on it, one that has the rotting fruits that you know by the puzzle on the scroll would be a harvester. One that has antlers and a spear, that must be the hunter. And there's one that's not listed on there. Well, actually, it must be the wanderer because it has a fur cloak.
Cloak, yeah.
How big are these fruit? Is it possible for
Are
any
they
of
like
us to-
berries?
They're less than hand-sized. Small fruit.
All
So
right.
could we hold more than 2 in one hand?
Oh, yes.
Then I will step up to Lazara and I'll say, if you take 3 in each hand, that gives you 6. You put 1 in each of the 3 basins, that leaves you 3. You show that to the alchemist, he gives you 6, and you put 2 in each of the basins again, and now each of them has 3.
Yes. And she
This is how we make everyone fair.
yes. And she literally goes up and grabs 6 fruit.
You take 6 fruit, and what do you do with them?
I have 3 in one hand, 3 in the other.
Okay.
I walk up to the blacksmith, put 1 fruit.
Okay.
I walk up to the hunter, put 1 fruit.
Okay.
I walk up to the wanderer, put 1 fruit.
Okay. Now you have 3 in your hand and 1 in each.
Yep. And I'm going to go back to the harvester and
Or
show
the alchemist.
or the alchemist, whoever shows me.
So now you have 6 in your hand and 1 in each.
And I will go back and put 2 in each so that each has 3.
Not the way it was listed in here, but you know what? That is creative enough that I will let it pass. The way it was written is 7 fruit. Put 4 in the first one. Then you have 3 in your hand. That's doubled to 6. Put 4 more. which left 2 in your hand, doubled to 4, and then the final 4. But I like the creativeness of this one, and I'm not going to punish you for that. I love to reward creativity. The sigil on the floor collapses on itself, leaving a pile of fresh fruit. Very enticing. And a black gem. Enough food to last you a few days.
Yes.
And it's juicy looking.
Yes.
Might have enough liquid to even help.
Yep. So we take the bags that we made and we start putting fruit in it.
Okay. Do you take the black jewel?
It looks like the one that we saw on the
Yes.
On the animated corpses.
And on the monolith at the beginning, yes.
I'm going up. I'm going to take a deep breath and I'm going to take my pouch and I'm going to shove it below and bag it
Okay. And you bag the gem.
without touching it.
Does anyone else wish to make any offerings to these totems? The axe is gone, but there's still the embalmed hand. There is still a bag at the harvester that has something in it. A hunting spear and a fur cloak.
Can I borrow that knife, please? I'm going to
Sure.
try and do one of these things.
You can keep it because I'm okay.
I'll approach the one with the cloak, I think. And I'll do much the same. I'll use the knife to cut my arm and
Okay.
offer some blood into the bowl.
When you drop the blood in there, the cloak, a gust of wind comes from nowhere and it blows off the totem, lands on your shoulders. You have a heavy fur cloak. It has +1 armor to your shoulders, which would be, I believe, both arms, unless shoulders was its own.
Shoulders is not.
Yep, so both arms now have 1 additional armor. And technically your torso from the back, it counts as light armor, so it stacks. You can stack it with your other armor. And it gives you cold resistance. It's nice and warm. There is still the spear, the bag, but you also gain 5 permanent doom, and your minimum goes up by 5. A spear, a bag, and a hand.
Let me see the knife.
Yes, I'll pass the knife over.
She walks up to the one with the jewels in the hand, cuts her palm, and lets the blood flow.
You get a human hand. And it's got a wick of hair. Now, when you get it, it falls into your hand. And you realize now, you know what it does just by holding it. If you light the wick on it, it will burn forever, casting a light only you see. It does not burn out, but it only illuminates your way.
Interesting. She puts it in her bag.
Okay. You all still have a bag of something and a spear that you all could get.
Just a heavy sigh. I guess if we're all doing this, and I'll go up to the one with the bag and I'll just squeeze one of the wounds on my arm to let some of the blood out, and just kind of swallow the pain down.
Give yourself your 5 permanent doom.
Yeah, I know.
But inside are herbs. You can smell them. They smell soothing, healing. Did your world have anything to do with natural medicine?
Of course, yeah.
You find what you suspect would be about 10 doses of a medicinal herb that will heal wounds quite well.
Oh, like the ones that I have sustained?
Like yours.
Yes.
Might even help her broken leg.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what it does to me first.
Okay.
And while he's doing that, I'm actually going to go up to the one with the spear and get the spear.
Okay. Take your 5 more doom as well.
Yep.
The spear comes down. It is a hunting spear. One-handed weapon, unlike, the pickaxe. It really could use 2 to wield it. Weapon rating is 6 on the
Nice.
spear. And you apply this medicinal herb to your arm, get rid of one of your many herbs. And let me double check what I got to do here on my cheat sheet to make sure I'm doing it right. You actually get to heal the highest box wound on your arm. Get rid of it. Whatever the highest checkbox is, which for you was a grievous wound.
Grievous wound, yeah.
That one is gone. One wound,
Okay.
gone. And it's almost miraculous how fast it seems to close the wound up when you do it. Knits it all together.
I will immediately go over with my newfound mobility in my arm and apply some of the herbs to Lysara's leg and see what that does.
It's almost like magic. The bone knits itself back together. Ligaments go back in place. I think all you had was your grievous wound in your leg. That is
It's
unchecked as well. One more dose gone. You have 8 remaining.
Lysara.
Are you going to apply it to your busted up hand as well?
Ooh.
No, I think getting the arm movement back is good enough. I want to see just how badly the future awaits us. I think a busted hand is fine for now.
Lysara removes the splinting and stuff and sees if anyone has room in bags to put that in to carry for later.
Okay.
Thank you.
We'll
Keep
see
the
what
rest
this has cost us.
We will see.
I think we should save that up for any grievous stuff that happens to us. Seems like there will be still something like that.
Now, how do we get out of here?
Sometime during this whole endeavor, you didn't notice it, but there was an opening in the other side. You don't think it was there before. It's there now. As if you've been herded this entire time through one place of another of memories of the past of somebody. And in the distance, you can see blazing lights, braziers of some kind in a room up ahead.
I guess that's our way. Well, I'll go
let's
first.
When you move down this hallway, you see a throne room ahead of you. This throne room has a throne of gore. It's made of heaps and bones draped in flesh, covered in candles.
Fresh flesh.
But there's a withered, hooded figure sitting on it. As you step in the room, it speaks to you. You may call me the Eye upon the throne. I am the ruler of this labyrinth. But this throne is your reality. The one who sits on it controls the mind's eye. Do you think you control your reality? Are you who sits here? Are you a fragment of what sits here? Or are you the throne and what it sits on? My throne can be held back no longer. And for that, I am sorry. And the figure starts to struggle, but you see it shifting, growing in size into a vaguely feminine form, almost 20 feet tall, with the head of a vulture. It has no skin. You see its muscles and innards displayed. It's got eyes in various places and tentacles coming from its back in the shape of wings as it moves towards you with a giant sword of some kind in its hand. A giant, ragged blade made of iron.
Well,
I literally passed the spear over to Quiax, take this.
One good hand.
Exactly. And I take off the net and start swinging to throw it.
Now, this thing is grown to be 20 feet tall. I don't think your net's going to do as much.
Oh, no, I just want to tangle up that fucking sword hand.
Okay. I will let you do that. That's very creative. I like it. I like that. So you have 3 dice in your combat pool.
And remember, it's got stones on the end of it, so it'll hurt too when it's hitting.
You have 3 dice in your combat pool. How many you wish to use?
2.
Okay.
Woo! That's a 9 and a 10.
It's good that you got that. Yeah. Because your current stress is 9. Yeah. Makes disaster quite painful.
Good under pressure.
With a 10 and no 1s, you do damage to it.
Yeah, that one is
It has no attack value, but it does damage as it hits.
okay.
I'm going to make a note of how much it has. The net flies out. And because of that roll, you see it tangle up the blade as it was moving the blade, and it binds the blade up against its arm in a way that it can't swing it. But the blade actually cuts into it from the weight of the stones, dragging it down. Adric, your turn. We're going to go around the table.
I'll try to do something a bit strange because I don't want to get too close to it. I'm going to try and use the rope with the metal hook on.
Okay.
And I'll try and wind the hook and use it as a grapple to try and slice at its arm.
Okay.
Well, actually, I'll try to get its legs, try to hook and damage its legs.
Okay. That works well. How many dice do you wish to roll?
Ooh. I'll roll 2.
What's your stress at right now?
3.
Oh, yeah, you've the only one don't have stress. So go ahead, roll your 2 dice. Do you have a specialty you're using?
I could see whether my thief one would work to try and trip someone up, to try and snag
Sure.
someone.
I like that. That is totally believable. So you get a +1.
I got a 10 and a 1.
So that does not give you any kind of a bonus other than it counts as a complete success. But you have that 1. So you gain 2 stress. But you rolled 2 dice. The hook itself is only a weapon rating of 2, but you rolled 2 dice and you still get a 10. So that's 22 damage. Minus its armor, because you can see it dip in. But you also cause it to stumble a bit. I'm going to give you all advantage on your defense this turn. Between the knife and the hook in the leg, trying to off balance it some, I will give you all advantage on your defense rolls. Quiax, your turn.
I will, seeing the kind of stumbling about, I'm going to lunge forward. Could I use my ingenuity or my outlaw specialty to kind of go for the Achilles tendon, that kind of soft spot
Of course.
on the leg?
I like that. What is your stress at?
9. No.
Oh.
Is it?
Yeah.
No.
I thought
No.
you hit max.
No, I'm at 8.
He's
I'm at
at
8,
8.
sir.
Okay.
I'm at 8.
You're at
Only
8.
one
So
wild card
if you
here.
roll a 9, it's a partial success, and a 10 is a complete success.
What happens? Because my dice hate me today. Okay. A 9 and a 7.
The 9 plus 1 makes it a 10, so it works. You managed to avoid it. And you're using the spear to do it, huh?
Yeah. Yep.
That's pretty nice, actually. The spear
It was given to me.
was weapon
So
rating
I'm-
a 6, but that counts as a 10. So you roll 2 dice. There's 26 damage right there, minus its armor, of course. And the spear slashes it in the leg, and as it's been stumbling, it actually cuts deep, causing it to drop down on one knee, as it loses part of its leg. Corex, your turn.
Going to take another one of the hooks. I'm trying to javelin it in its leg.
Okay.
with just one die, and then use 2 die to. How much can I move if I want to?
You can use 1 die to move anywhere you want.
Okay, because I want to move around with the rope.
Okay.
So basically, I want to help trip him a bit more.
So you're gonna roll 1 die or 2 dice for the hooking, getting the hook in the leg.
I'm rolling 2 dice. I'm rolling 2 dice. We have an advantage on the defense this time. It's going to be fine. That's a 2 and an 8. I think applying warfare would be possible. That would be another +1.
That makes it 9. What's your stress
9.
at?
My stress is at 3.
Okay.
I haven't taken any yet.
Partial success.
Yeah.
So total up the dice you rolled. How much total did you get?
I totaled 10.
10 plus your
plus the
weapon of the hook. The hook bites into it and you wrap it around. It doesn't get a good bite into it, but it's good enough to hold it. You don't think you really injured it at all, but you do help keep it from rising to its feet. Now we're going to the defense phase. Unfortunately, the tentacles fly out. Let's see who's going to get who gets a tentacle. Both of them go for Adric. You gained 1 more die each in your pool. You get to roll your defense this turn, Adric. How many dice you wish to roll? You've got to split them by both. You've got 2 attacks coming at you. So if you got 2 dice left, you wish to roll. You've got to split them by both. You've got 2 attacks coming at you. So you got 2 dice left. I hear echo, but I don't hear Adric.
So,
there we go.
See,
Use 2 on your attack, so you had 1 left. You gained 1 into defense age. You have 2. You can roll 1 die for each attack coming at you.
Do I get an advantage in defense?
You get advantage in both. So a disaster becomes a partial becomes a full.
I roll 1 dice for each.
Okay, go ahead.
Uh, 7 and a 3.
Okay. So the 7 is a partial success, becomes complete success, no damage. The 3 would have been a disaster, but it's moved to a partial success. So you're going to take some damage as this thing lashes out at you. Let's see. You take...
Would my armor affect this?
Ooh, well, that's a bad sign.
Depends where it hits.
Yeah. Actually hits you in the left leg. Tentacle lashes out, hits you in the left leg. You're going to take... Wow. How much armor do you have there?
3.
3? The weapon hits you, and with the injury you take a large chunk of flesh comes ripped out of your leg along with parts of your muscle. Please mark a grievous injury to your left leg.
Okay.
And it spends the rest of its turn struggling finally back to its feet, though it's still unsteady. Everyone has 1 more die in their combat pool. We start again with Lasara.
So I still had 2 left over from not having to defend.
Correct.
So 1 more. So that gives me a total
You're
of
back
3.
to 3.
Okay, I'll roll 2 again. This time I am going to... Hang on, I'm looking. I am going to use her sexuality specialty to flick out her tongue and attack this.
That's creative as shit. I like that. We'll let that happen. You're going to use your sexuality to attack the tender bits with your weaponized tongue. Sure.
My poison tongue.
How many dice are you rolling?
2.
Yeah. So that is a +1 to it?
That's an 8 and a 10.
You're getting lucky as hell here.
I know. It's going to fail epically next time. I know.
What is the weapon rating on your tongue?
It's a 2.
Okay.
And it bypasses armor.
Mm-hmm.
I bet it does.
I bet it does.
And you see the venomous tongue. It's something dripping from it as it hits this thing, and where it strikes, bypassing the armor. Fuck, bypassing the armor sucks. As it bypasses the armor, she strikes it in the head, and you can see the poison working almost immediately as it screams with rage and collapses to the ground, dropping the sword that finally got free of the net, ripping the net in the process. But it got the sword free just in time to drop to the ground. Poisoned by a tongue. And this weapon is big. It's a two-handed weapon, but you could use it. You could wield it. It's made of a jagged, chipped iron. It's rusted. The crossguard seems to be made of Blackhorn's teeth and tattered ribbons of flesh of all things. The knife of the Upkalu.
And as she retracts her tongue, she just psychically says to all the gentlemen in the room, "You're welcome."
I'm not gonna say what I think right now.
And in the corner of the room, there's a staircase that was not there before. And you see this place you are. It's starting to have wisps of smoke coming off it. It's getting hazy in places. Seems to be breaking apart.
So
We need to move quickly.
let's go.
Yep, we're going to
Anyone
head
want
out.
to take that huge thing with them?
Is anyone
But-
grabbing the sword?
I'm going to go and apply some of the herbs to Adric's leg before we head down for the stairs.
Use another dose of your herbs.
Use
And
another dose
heal?
of the herb.
The highest wound you have on that leg.
I'm going to take a look at the net that got torn. Is it repairable?
Given additional vines that you have in time, yes.
Okay, I'll grab up the damaged net.
Okay. And as you look up the
I'll take the sword. I'll
take it?
collect all the weapons.
Okay, this sword, it's heavy. It's going to be two-handed. Weapon rating on it is 14.
Ooh! Glad I wrapped that
Ridiculous.
sucker up.
It is a big monster of a blade. And
Yeah,
as you-
I'll leave my mace behind because that's kind of ridiculous by now.
oh, yes. And as you
I'm
come to
going
the
to pick up
stair-
that
yes.
mace. I'm going to pick up that
gonna
mace.
pick up the mace?
I would come from a greedy territory. I'm not leaving anything behind.
looking up the staircase, it goes up a dizzying amount of space. You can see it stretching way up. But up above is a bright gray light and an overcast sky. Cloudy. For most of you, it's not a sky you recognize. It's a sky that is a world that's not yours.
That looks odd.
But as you see this place you're in coming apart, dissipating, fading, you have no choice. You know you have to take the staircase. It's your last chance
Yeah.
to leave. Now that you killed the eye upon the throne, the architect that made this all, it's your last chance to get away.
Oh.
And at last you emerge from this labyrinth, twisted mass of stone behind you. And before you is a gray, grim wasteland under a dark, overcast sky with fog everywhere. And this cold, damp air is clinging to your skin, and you smell death and decay. The soil beneath your feet is writhing with worms, dead plant roots. What few trees you see look to be dead or rotten. Even grass won't grow here. And ash begins to fall from the sky. And you taste disease in the air. Smell of burning hair and flesh. Screams and howl of people in the distance. And you actually see bodies, people, convulsing in the soil, covered in boils from some sort of odd disease that seems to have struck them quickly. And you see people pulling the dead and diseased and putting them on giant pyres. It's not fog, it's smoke from all the pyres burning the dead. And you have now freed yourself from the labyrinth and entered the world of Irkalla. And the stairway you took shimmers. Part of it fades away, leaving a stairway that goes into the ground of nothing. A remnant of a labyrinth that is no longer existing. A fragment of a dead psychic's imagination. And with that psychic fully dead that crafted this world, it is gone. But you remain. Welcome to Irkalla, everybody. We'll see if you survive in the future. And I would like to thank my players and, of course, the viewers who came out to watch this dark game. They did quite well against the boss. But don't worry, we always take it easy the first time.
Oh, no. That was just luck. That was just luck.
The difficulty of the enemies goes up with every session you play. This was session 1. Session 2 is an increased in difficulty. Yes. Session 3, it increases again.
Yeah.
Every session, I add 1 to the difficulty of creatures until eventually they will kill you.
Yeah.
Of course, again, I'm going to point out, pop over to Drive-Thru-RPG, everybody. Right now, this weekend, Irkalla is free to download as a PDF.
I'm
thanks
putting
to
the link right now.
The amazing developer, both James Vale and, of course, let's all give everybody Grandar here in chat.
Yeah.
Grandar also works with James. Thank you for making this great product,
we
this
love
great
this
game. It was a lot of fun. I don't know when we'll stream it again, but I can tell you now, we will stream it again. This has become a go-to as, let's...
we don't have anything else to run. Let's run Zas.
Yeah, we've got a break, and we are a multi-streamer studio. When there's gaps and we don't have a lot of people streaming, we need to fill it with something. Guess what? Irkalla is the thing.
Yep, and the PDF is free right now because there is now a print on demand hardcover edition that you can get. So the PDF is free, and if you want a hardcover, you can get that now because that was not available prior unless you were a Kickstarter backer. So now you can get your hardcover copy.
Get you either a print on demand or the PDF, either one.
Yeah.
It's a dark game. I haven't even touched on half of the lore, half of the setting. Now that they're in the world itself, they're going to find out just how bad this world is.
Yeah.
And at any time, reality may shift as the psychic dreams influence what's around them. For those that are very creative and like to cross genres, they could be on a broken piece of spaceship 1 minute.
Yep.
In a castle another.
It can be any setting.
It's a matter of what broke, what psychic died, and what dreams they were having. You can cross everything. They could be fighting plasma shooting aliens 1 second, dinosaurs the next, their own people a third time.
And we do have limitations with what kind of horror we can present because we're streaming it on Twitch. If you are running this privately with your own group, you can go as hog wild as your group wants.
Yep. You can get, you can make it, the game lends itself because of the fact that you have these shattered worlds, these altered realities. It lends itself to whatever type of story you want to tell. You want to do Cthulhian horror, go for it. If you want to do sci-fi terror,
you want to do graphic body horror, you can go for it. But yeah.
You want brutality and murder everywhere? Hey, go for that too.
Yeah. Fantastic system, fantastic game, legit. I love this game. I've played it now twice, and I love it. I love it. I love it.
And this time, if the players are available for whenever we figure to stream it again, we will continue with these same characters. And we will see the other part of this game. We have now seen the brutality of it. We've seen the horror of it. Now, can they build a settlement? Can they survive? Can they get the resources to make something in this world to eke out what little comfort could be had? Or will they just go to hell with it and turn themselves into a bunch of marauding bandits running around stealing everything not nailed down to got mine?
Consider we have a thief and a bandit in our crew.
Do you forge society or do you create a band of roving marauders? That'll be your choices, won't it?
Yes. Just both.
Both.
And you haven't even seen what happens when one of them dies.
No, not
because
yet.
the endlings, they're still linked. When one of them dies, another world will be destroyed.
Yep.
And from that world will come the last survivor of that race, with the memories of their world being destroyed and memories of their time here in Irkalla this time. And with each death, they will have another life that they remember living, but also the trauma that came with it and the death that comes with it. So,
nah, legit, the only reason we didn't have deaths was because Queox there got some herbs.
and I believe in rewarding creativity. This is a system that 100% rewards creativity. Creative players can do very well. If you're not creative, if you don't make armor out of the skins of things you find, if you do not decide, let's make bone armor, you don't make a net, you don't, aren't willing to pay the blood sacrifice.
Yeah. But I'm like, you know what? Yeah, let's use these vines. I don't care if they are blood vessels. Let's make them into a net.
And so, your torches went out when you left the place.
Yeah.
Now they're regular torches, but they are torches.
Yeah.
They will work for a little while.
Now we just have to find fire.
I mean, there's a big fat pyre with corpses on it. That'll do.
That'll do.
Yep. And of course, as always, at the end of this, thank you all for coming. Please join us on our Discord. This show was cast from members on our Discord. We post up casting calls. Members of the Discord see the casting call and they send a message to whoever's running the game and say, I want to play. And a lot of times we like to pick new people to play with. We like to vary who the stream on each stream. We don't like to always show the same people. And in the case of this one, these are the gluttons for punishment that signed up for it this time. So that's great. We have a casting call open still for a vampire 1 to 3 shot. It's tentatively the first shot is scheduled. The other episodes of that one will be scheduled in the future based on the person who normally streams in the slot, Tiss, based on when she's not streaming, because I refuse to take her time slot when she's available to stream. She's off this month to move, Dr. Tiss. But normally this would be Call of Cthulhu. And I think this did a good job of something else. So join us on our Discord. We've got a great community. We do weekly Zoom hangouts, which tonight is one of our weekly Zoom hangouts. We'll be in Zoom to hang out and chat about games, what we do. It's just a place to chill and be social with fellow humans.
As a matter of fact, we're doing a Zoom chat.
Right after this.
Right after. Well,
we got to give time for people to get a break real quick.
A break and maybe grab something to snack on or eat, because it's getting close to dinner time for some folks. And,
some people
people might need to go to bed because they're across the globe from us. Yeah, it's a thing.
If they can sleep after this, that's up to them.
That's up to them.
I can. I don't have problems with that. You want to catch our back episodes? YouTube. That's all our back episodes. You can go over to McStabber Studios for the first Irkalla, where it was just brutality, cannibalism, and murder. Of course, all of our other content, World of Darkness, we've got a lot of that. A number of indie games, Bluebeard's Bride.
I love that game.
Yeah, Bluebeard's Bride is in there. You Will Destroy Something Beautiful is in there. We've got a number of various indie games and stuff. We
Monster Heart.
Monster Hearts. We have a
That's
wide
where the
taste.
No Square came from.
We have a wide taste in games. We love to stream different things, and we love to share it all with people, of course. And if you want to see Call of Cthulhu or Ishvel, pop over to the Ishvel channel. That's where Dr. Tiss puts her stuff. She's on vacation this month to move. I don't call it vacation. She's moving this month, but she'll be back in October for more Call of Cthulhu, of course. You want to catch amazing content creators? We got a list of friends here. One of them, right down there, Ravenous Archon. Chew will love it on Twitter. Queox. He is Ravenous Archon. He does vampire, D&D, even has a Wild West werewolf game, which is good. So the viewers know, all bits and donations, they go to the players in the stream, not to Relin or I. We are the studio. Bits and donations, they go to the players. So if you want to give something to the players you saw tonight, bits and donations go there. If you want to support the studio, of course.
I mean, I think my character's tongue action really deserves a coffee, y'all.
Yeah, if you wanted to support the studio, you can subscribe on Twitch. If you have Amazon Prime, you can do a Prime subscription on Twitch, or you can go to our coffee and donate that way. We don't sublock anything.
No.
We never paywall any of our content at all.
Or even access to us with our Zoom chats and
Right.
Discord. We do not require, any support from financially to get access to
Time
that.
is tough for everybody. We understand that. We don't make you spend money to watch us or to spend to enjoy our content. So if you give anything, it's out of your own kindness. You don't have to. And a matter of fact, I tell people, don't hurt yourself financially giving to a channel. Please make sure your bills are taken care of and
Take
your
care
food
of you before you
for
take
us,
care
right.
of anybody else.
And now, of course, I want to turn it over. Oh, we have merch. We got McStabber Studios merch.
Mm-hmm.
None of these players qualified this time for I was in a one shot and died and got this T-shirt, but I'm sure it'll
And
happen
now
next
it's turning
time.
into a 2-shot.
That's right. So I'll pop over. We've got all kinds of merch. But now I'm going to turn it over to my wife for it's a pared down schedule this week.
Yes, it is. Join us tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern for the premiere of Season 8 of Windy City After Dark. That's right, Season 8, Episode 1. Y'all, we came out of the gate hitting it. When we recorded this on Thursday, for real, y'all, afterwards, I barely slept that night because I was so jazzed from the session. We came out of the gate hitting it. So y'all don't want to miss the premiere tomorrow. It is so good.
Our streams are almost all live except for the vampire. Vampire's pre-recorded, and that's so that you can come and hang in the chat and talk with the cast while you watch the episode. So the cast hangs out and chat, and unlike these games where we can't chat much, in the Vampire, we can chat all we want about the game. So you can get the behind-the-scenes shit
We
as
watch
we do
it with you.
Yep.
And I love doing that because it refreshes my mind on everything that happened, because oftentimes when I'm playing, it is hard to focus on everything going on at the table because I'm very immersed into my character. So being able to see it as a viewer with you is great, because then we can talk about stuff that we're both kind of seeing for the first time.
And as always, when we end these streams, I want to tell everybody, mental health, we take that seriously here at McStabber Studios. We may play dark games and we may play characters that get traumatized, but we don't believe in traumatizing each other. Please, everybody, take your mental health seriously. Reach out to those around you, especially people you haven't talked to lately, especially people that you haven't heard from lately. Reach out to them, make sure they're okay, because a lot of people are not okay right now and they need a lifeline. And if you are like myself and you suffer from mental health issues, first of all, it's okay to not be okay. There's nothing wrong with admitting you have mental health issues. Most of us do. And those that think they don't, well, they probably do and just don't want to admit it. Sorry to tell you. Mental health issues is a part of the state of life. And so don't feel bad about talking to the others around you. Just make sure you reach out. And if you don't feel you can talk to people, in chat is a list of numbers you can call or text 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to get the help you need. Because we really believe in mental health here. We play some dark games, but we want everyone to be around to play them with us. So please take that mental health seriously. And mental health is health. And I'll turn it over to my wife for her closing thoughts.
I, Mama McStabber, am the nicest mean nurse you're ever going to meet. I'm going to tell it to you straight. I'm going to tell you what's what and how it is, but I'm going to do it because I care. First off, about the mental health. Mental health is a part of physical health. Physical health is a part of mental health. So basically, as one goes, the other goes, and vice versa. So please take care of your mental health. You will feel better, not just mentally, but also physically. And I know it's hard right now, especially trying to get in anywhere for mental health appointments. I know it's a struggle, okay? I'm working on that for one of my children, and it's a bitch, okay? So really, if you're struggling hard, use those support lines. Use your employee assistance program at work if you have it, or if you have a partner in your household that has it. It covers households, families, that kind of thing. So you can utilize their employee assistance program, because those typically offer counseling for up to up to a certain number of sessions for each issue. So please utilize that. That's free, okay? If you need that in the meantime while you're waiting to get appointments. Also, please get your shots. All of them. All of them.
New York,
There's a state of emergency in New York for polio, y'all.
fucking polio.
For polio. Okay, so get your shots, get your COVID shots, get your monkeypox shots if you're eligible for it. Most states have eligibility requirements right now for the distribution of the vaccines.
Flu season's coming up.
Flu season's coming up. Start getting scheduled for your flu shots.
Tell she's a nurse.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Get your vaccines. They work. If you're allergic to them, fine. Don't get the vaccines. If you have a condition that requires you not to get vaccines, please encourage everyone around you to get the vaccines, okay, so that it protects you too. And for real, reproductive health is important. Abortion is healthcare. And gender-affirming care is also healthcare. And the fact is that there's a number of states basically making laws all over the place regarding those two things that hasn't been voted on, even though it was supposed to be handed back to the states for the people in the states to decide, oh no. They just levied some fucking shit. And now women are being detained in Alabama, pregnant, sleeping on floors because they might have smoked a joint when they found out they were pregnant. And then there are 10-year-olds being told that they have to carry children and probably never be able to carry children again. And in South Carolina, a woman was refused an abortion when she went into early labor and was probably going to lose her uterus.
Yeah.
So, please vote blue because rights are on the line. Rights are on the line. And Black Lives Matter, Indigenous lives matter. Fucking literally, fuck Putin. His own people are wanting him brought up on treason. It's crazy.
So, just so you know, we abuse each other with these games. The world doesn't need abuse outside of the game. So let's all be nice to each other when we're not playing and save the fucked up shit for when, you get in my games.
Yeah.
As
Don't
I make
be a
you
narcissist.
climb a rope.
No,
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that because narcissists really can't stop being a narcissist, even if they tried. But yeah.
Save the pain for when I make you climb a rope hooked to your loved ones. Okay?
But if you see red flags, run away.
But
Don't put yourself in that danger.
As always, everybody, essentially be a good neighbor. Be Mr. Rogers, okay? And I do thank you all for coming, and I'm glad you all enjoyed this. We had a blast doing it. I'm burning up hot because the AC hasn't kicked in this room, and it's time for me to get out of this makeup, get out of this heavy-ass wool, dark priest outfit I wear, and get some food in me maybe so we can start up our Zoom. So we will see everybody later, hopefully tomorrow for the season premiere.
Much love to y'all.
Much love. Good night, everybody. And again, pop over to Drive Through RPG. Get you the PDF. Get you a print on demand because a lot of us like books. Get the physical book.
I like big books and I cannot lie.
Okay, we're going to end right there. Good night, everybody.